Style takes too long. I can't fit anything. I have nothing in this closet. Oh, I'll just stay home. I need to purge my closet. Oh, but not that dress. Yo, Taylor here. If you ever thought to say one of these phrases, then this show is for you. Join me at the Style Table where we'll have candid and fun conversations about real women's style issues and wardrobe dilemmas. We will discuss solutions and ideas that will give you a big sigh of relief. You'll learn ways to save money, make money, and enrich the lives of others with the clothes in your closet. We're going to take the stress out of your style. Hey everybody, it's Yo on the Go back here at the Style Table. I'm here with the lovely Mary McConner. She's the founder and principal consultant at Inclusive Excellence Consulting, LLC. Mary, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Yo. I'm excited to be here.
Well, you look gorgeous. I love your presentation. You look awesome.
Thank you.
So tell us about your consulting firm.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it. So, I'm actually a new business owner. So, I started my consulting firm in December of 2021. And the reason I decided to start it is because I've always worked in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so I am a chief diversity officer. Um, and And so part of the reason I started the consulting firm is because there are so many different organizations that are trying to build strategies around diversity, equity, and inclusion, whether that's bringing more diverse talent to their organizations or coming up with strategies to retain, different employees of different backgrounds. And so it's just something I'm really passionate about. And I felt like, you know what? I enjoy this work. I might as well have my own business and be an entrepreneur and work with different organizations throughout the nation to help them with their DE&I strategies.
See, that's awesome. To do something that you absolutely love is so important. It's so important. I love what I do as a wardrobe strategist, and I'm. It was a side hustle for me, and now it's my full time career now, and I love it. I'm so excited about it. So having something that you're really passionate about makes it all the worthwhile, and you will also deliver excellent service
Exactly.
as the name of your business.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for that. And that's so right. It's when you do something you love, it doesn't feel like work, right? Even though we're putting in long hours, there's some days you look up and you're like, oh, I didn't eat today. I should probably go have lunch or take a break at some point. But when you really do something that you're passionate about, you bring that energy to it and just it comes through in your work. And people are more likely to want to work with you too when they know, like, oh, she's really committed to this. So, like for you, for example, like I knew I wanted to work with you just based on your energy, and I could tell I was like, she's really good at this, and she loves it. So it makes a huge difference.
And it's a lot of fun. And people are attracted to energy.
Yes,
They're attracted to that positive energy, and they do want to work with you
right.
based on that. Because there are other consulting firms that do diversity and inclusion, and they choose you based on the energy and the positivity that you put out there. And you are somebody, when I met you, I mean, you just burst like happiness and liveliness on a our Zoom call.
Right.
And it was so awesome. You knew exactly what you want. You had direction, you had a plan. So I know that your clients will can rest assured that Mary has a plan and a direction for you. Can you give us any insight how you would even start with a client? What would a client expect when they walk into your space?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, part of the reason why I have to be like positive and energetic is because this is heavy work. So when you're assessing culture and you're looking at some of the things that need to be modified within a culture to make it more inclusive, it can be very, it can be very telling, and it's like, oh, we need to do better. And so I have to kind of bring a certain positivity and energy to it so that clients don't feel like it's just pure attack mode or anything like that, because essentially that's not what the goal is. The goal is to help organizations become better, more equitable and inclusive and diverse. And so the way the process normally works, I have clients reach out to me directly. A lot of it is just referrals and word of mouth, but I also have like a formal process. I do have forms on my website that you can fill out if you're interested in learning more about the services I provide. And so what I do is I meet with each client directly, and I do have one-on-one appointments with them, because one of the things that you want to avoid is treating DE&I work like a one size fits all approach, right? Because every client is going to have different needs, and the strategies need to be tailored to that organization and what the needs are. And so I start there. I do have a couple of clients I'm working with now. Very different, very different organizations. You have nonprofit, you have corporate, you have higher education, you have all types of entities. And so that's things that you have to consider too when you're working with different clients and organizations. Think about the populations they serve. So it's kind of a hard question to answer because it does vary from client to client, but there are best practices that you would use with any organization when helping them develop a strategic plan around DE&I.
So when you're dealing with clients and diversity and inclusion, you're also dealing with perceptions.
Yes.
And when people walk in and they're of different cultures, they're dressed in ways that sometimes they want to share and express their cultural heritage,
Yes.
whether it be through their hair, whether it be through some of the styles that they wear to work. Um, how do you help people navigate that? If you have someone who comes to you, maybe someone in the group when you're working with an organization that says, I am Hindu and I want to express some of my culture because the diversity is bringing a rich, I guess, tapestry
Hmm.
to to everything to the organization, which helps the organization grow.
Right. Yeah, and that's exactly right. And I'm glad you mentioned that as an example. So one of the things that a lot of chief diversity officers and DE&I consultants always stress to the organizations we work with is that authenticity is really important. And when we allow people to show up as their authentic selves, they're more likely to feel a sense of belonging, right? And the U.S. is interesting because how we define professionalism. I mean, we recently just saw that there had to be legislation around women being permitted to wear their hair in their natural hair, with their
So
natural hair
crazy.
texture. I know it,
It's
and
so crazy. I
so
mean, I just
I know,
needed to be a federal law, really.
I know.
Okay.
I know. But that's the
All
reality.
right.
That's the reality we have lived in for so long. We say we want people to show up as their authentic selves, but we really expect conformity at the end of the day. And so part of my job is to challenge that and say, okay, you say you value diversity, but we have, people of different cultures who want to wear their different garbs and represent their heritage. So you have to embrace that. You have to be accepting of that. And that's what makes having a diverse workforce or a diverse student body beautiful, right? It's the difference in people being able to show up as their authentic selves. So we stress that over and over again because oftentimes we communicate one thing in organizations, but it doesn't always come through. It's like, okay, if this is who we are, if we're saying we embrace all people, then we have to do that. Our policies have to reflect that. So yeah, it's complicated.
Because because you have to talk to people, and you have to get to know them. And being a flight attendant for 31 years, I came across everybody from all over the world.
Mhm.
And when you talk to people, I mean, I've talked to women who were completely covered.
Mhm.
All I saw were their eyes, but you're just having a general conversation. You know, we all have kid issues. We all have the same issues, the same things that we deal with as humans.
Yes.
And you can see past all of that, all of whatever your stereotype is, because you're focusing on the commonalities and the humanity and respecting each other,
Correct.
period.
That's so true. And the thing is, humans, we have way more in common than we do different. And a lot of times the reason we don't recognize that is because we're not talking to each other and becoming culturally aware and competent. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I have that in common too. Oh, my family does that too. We celebrate this way too. And it's not until we break down the barriers and that we start e- communicating with each other in a way where we're receptive, right? It's not just going through the motions, but actually wanting to learn, that we realize, oh, we have a lot in common. And so that's a good point. So we have to just reach this place where we celebrate commonalities and differences, and we allow people to just show up their whole selves.
And they'll perform better. If you're a
Correct.
company and you have people who have the mindset
Yes.
of being open and interested in learning, your company, your business is going to grow because the world is opening up to you. The
Hmm.
world is going to be more receptive to people who understand and respect the differences, not just tolerate, but learn and respect. And that's how I raised my son.
Yes.
My son's 21st birthday party I had for him, the table looked like the UN. I mean, his friends were from all over, and I was so proud of everything that I instilled in him because our children are listening.
Yes.
So, so the culture, the things that you're learning and you're using at work, it's also helpful at home.
Yes. That's exactly right. And I think for me in particular, just full transparency, my husband is from Turkey originally. And so we are considered, I guess, a multi ethnic marriage or interracial marriage. And it's interesting because even in our household, we see, like, yeah, there's some differences, like in terms of just foods and traditions and cultures, but we have so much in common. And, we get to see that firsthand just in our everyday interactions. And so, like, it's really nice to be, exposed to new cultures at all times. Like, I'm constantly learning, and he's constantly learning too. He's like, oh, yeah, I didn't realize that was a thing. We don't necessarily do that in Turkey, and then vice versa. So, you're exactly right, and I think that's wonderful that you've exposed your children to, different people and different cultures at an early age. Because when you grow up with that foundation, you're less likely to be biased. I mean, and we all have some bias, but you're less likely to be
Yeah,
biased, and you're more accepting of different people.
yeah. I'm definitely. I feel blessed in having parents that help me open up to that, and I also am proud of the time I spent working for the airlines,
Yeah.
um, and opening my whole world up, and learning about not just um, different cultures, but under having more understanding and positioning. You're helping people position themselves to to look past everything and get to know the person.
Correct.
And
that's that is a life experience that everybody should have, I
Yes,
think.
absolutely. I agree. I say every organization, whether you're a small nonprofit or a huge corporation, should have some kind of strategy and some kind of initiative around diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because the reality is, too, that we're only going to become increasingly diverse, as a society. There's different studies that show we will be minority majority, by what, 2050. And so the reality is we have to be prepared for it and know how to work with each other.
The environment, climate change is causing people to be displaced
Hmm.
with droughts and fires. People are migrating, people are moving to different areas. Wars, things are causing people to become closer, more diverse, and we have to be prepared for it. If you're a nonprofit, if you're a company, you have to be ready because you need a workforce.
Right.
You need somebody, you need a workforce. And it and you have to be open to diversity to get the best people, to get everything that you need,
Yes, that's absolutely
you
correct.
know. And coming to Mary is your best bet to
Well,
get started. If you don't know how to get started, come to Mary,
thank
for real.
Yes, and I'm happy to, like I said, I work with clients all over the nation in different organization types, and we do come up with tailored strategies. It's not a one size fits all. We look at the culture, we look at the climate, we look at, just several different things that make up your organization, and our goal ultimately is to help you be excellent, when it comes to your inclusion and equity strategies.
Awesome, awesome. So now let's talk a little style.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite thing to show up in when you're doing presentations?
You
What are
know,
your favorite colors?
I like bright colors. I do, I guess, because I have a warmer tone. Um,
Hmm.
I've always been told, well, go brighter. And plus it stands out. So I love yellow. I love like blues. I love, pink is one of my favorite colors. So usually I tend to go on the bright side. And what I've been learning, I've always shied away from wearing all white because I've always been told, "Oh, it makes you look heavier." This misconception that it adds weight to you. But I have really grown to love wearing all white, and I think I want to make that a signature of mine when I do presentations, because I feel it's like a power color. I feel like they see me, and because it is so noticeable, it's just something about it. So I do like, brighter tones.
And it translates differently in person. And
Yes.
you're going to be on stage in person. And there is something that's, you know, powerful, especially with your complexion, that's so powerful when you walk on stage in white. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I just think um, I do think it makes a statement of calm and peace and honesty.
Yeah.
Now I do love black.
Mhm. Me too.
That's my color, black.
Yeah.
But it does still bring a sense of elegance. I think white also brings elegance, just like black does
Yeah.
too.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think anytime you go with a powerful neutral tone, like black or white, it's something about it where it has a certain presence about. Like, I don't know how to describe it. You can probably describe it much better than I can, but it's something about those two colors in particular where it's like, oh, what does she have to say? It just translates well when you have on like this solid neutral color. Yeah, so I've just grown to love white and black too. I do wear black occasionally, but normally I go kind of on the brighter side.
And bright colors. I know you like pink.
Yes.
because you are a,
AKA.
hey, we got to give a shout out, right?
Shout out to Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
And pink looks fabulous on you. And I know you love pink, and pink is all over the runways for the fall.
Mhm.
So I know it's hot. You know, we're still waiting on summer, but um, I'm already looking at the fall and the fall lines. Lots of pink,
Excellent.
bright pink, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. So, Mary, tell us how to get in contact with you.
So there's a few ways to get in contact with me. I'm on LinkedIn all the time. So all you have to do is type my first and last name, Mary McConner, and then my profile will come up, and you're welcome to message me, connect with me through that platform. And then also I have my website, my formal website, which is ieconsultingfirm.com. And so there's a way to connect with me that way as well. So if you fill out the form and message me, it comes directly to my email address. And then also you can email me directly as well. So my email is marym@ieconsultingfirm.com. So there's different platforms and ways to reach out to me, and I'm always interested in hearing about different organizations' journeys and where they are in their DE&I journey and how I can assist. So feel free to reach out to me, and I would love to work with
Awesome. And you guys know where you can reach me. I am at thestyletable.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook at the Style Table LLC, and you can see me on the At the Style Table show at the Style Table LLC on YouTube. See you next time.